All right, beloved. Hey, 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 what's going on? Hope all is well with each of you. I'm not going to wait for anyone to come in. If you miss it, you miss it. We're going to get right into this thing. Happy Thursday. Today's Thursday. My God, it's Thursday. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. Let me get myself together because we got some ground to cover tonight. I hope you all have had an amazing and productive Thursday. I've had an amazingly productive week. I've been tired and exhausted. Got some blood work done, talked to my doctor. So, making some improvements to my health, and I'm going to be sharing more about that. The next couple of days, I'm going to be sharing more about what I'm doing to personally improve the quality of my health and my life. And I encourage you all to do the same. I'm almost 40, and I have a lot more life to live that I intend to live. And I look forward to prayerfully living with all of you, as many of you as possible, as many of you as in the will of God for us to live together. So, um, I would like it, number one, if you all would comment, like, and share, comment, like, and share, comment, like, and share. And thankful to God for you. I'm so thankful to God for you for popping on in. We're going to be very quick tonight because I have some things I have to do before late, and so I'm going to limit this to about 15 minutes. Okay, once we get to the 14-minute mark, we're cutting it short, and we're going to have to continue at another time because I have a couple things that I have to do that regretfully, because I don't have an executive assistant or personal assistant, I have to do it myself, and it is very time sensitive. However, I did want to come online and share a couple things with you all as we have much to cover. So, happy Thursday. Welcome to Living Unlimited. Tonight is our launch team open house meeting where we share parts of the vision, where we share a bit of the vision regarding what we're doing, where we are, and where we're going. Hey there, I see you in the comments. Thank you so much for popping on in. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for popping on in. I appreciate you and popping in the comments. Now, um, the first thing I want to do is I want to inform you all, my beautiful social media family, that we are going to be pushing back our Living Unlimited live worship experience that was scheduled to be at the end of the month of January. Regretfully, so much time has gotten away from me, and the resources that I had looked forward to having at my disposal at this time are not at my disposal. Therefore, I have to use wisdom, I have to use discretion, and I have to use prudence. So, as of right now, Thursday, January 19th, we are not going to be having corporate worship on the 28th or the 29th of January. We will not be having corporate worship in person. We will be online, but we will not be in person. Okay. And the reason is because, for as large as that room is, I refuse for us to go into that space looking the way it currently looks, and more importantly, by myself. Because people talk a good game and say they're going to be present, and then the week of, they don't call, they don't answer their phone calls, they don't respond to text messages. They'll show you an airline ticket that was paid for, and next thing you know, they canceling it because something else popped up, a bill popped up, and they got to use that money, get a refund, and pay something else. And so I know that I'm very important to so many people, but I'm not as important as you all make me feel, and I know that. You can gas me if you want to, but I know the truth. Your words say one thing, but your actions say another. And I'm not going to be a fool and go into this room, this big. It's not huge, but it's big enough. I'm not going to be in there by myself, struggling to carry on a worship encounter, especially because there is a budget that we have to take care of, and I cannot do it by myself. Now, if I do it by myself, that would rob all of you all who have so much to say about, what goes on with ministries, the opportunity to really have a serious stake. Because even though you're not the pastor, many of you still have such a strong opinion about what goes on in churches and ministries. So I want to give you that opportunity. I want you to be a stakeholder in the church, which means you're gonna have to put up some money or shut your mouth. We're not sugarcoating or mincing words around here. I want you to know exactly what my heart is. I believe that we're called to be a community of integrity, a community of accountability, a community of honesty, a community of forthrightness, speaking the truth in love, not hurtfully, So the truth in love is that I cannot carry a church by myself, and I will not carry a church by myself. My son and I have certain needs and responsibilities and obligations and wants even that um, trying to take on another set of bills that are even larger than my own home bills would rob us of the lifestyle that we deserve to have. However, in partnership, if we get together and make this thing happen, we can take care of these bills. We can take care of these obligations and responsibilities. And so I think all of you, this is a lesson. This ought to be a lesson or a reminder to so many of you who are part of churches and ministries, especially you're watching leaders like myself or others start new churches, start new ministries. It requires a massive amount of people and capital, money, support to move that thing from vision to reality. And it's not just about having a bunch of church services. I don't want a revival center. I don't want a conference center. I want a place where people come together to actually be disciples. And too many of you all of my social media family, I love you to death, but you only go to church because of how great the music is and how wonderful the preacher is. But unfortunately, most of the preaching that you hear, you don't remember, nor do you retain. And that's not the kind of church that I want to pastor. That's not the kind of church that we are. Fullness is not just a hype church. We are a disciples church. We are a discipling church. We are a grounded church. We are a true apostolic church where we're teaching and discipling and maturing and developing and evolving. And so I do less hooping and hollering and screaming than I do teaching and emphasizing and repeating. And those of you who have watched my stream on a regular basis, you know this. Those of you who have watched my videos, you know this. I don't do a whole bunch of hooping and hollering and spitting and squalling on the camera. I don't do a lot of that. It's not that I can't, because I can't. Those of you who have been in worship with me corporately know this and understand this. I'm so happy to see so many of y'all popping on in. Thank you for just coming in. I see you. If you don't mind dropping a comment or hitting the like, hitting the share button, I really appreciate that. But this is an update. We're not going to be having corporate worship. So what was scheduled to be a corporate worship encounter at the end of this month is not going to be. However, what we are going to do is push it back to February. We're going to push it back to February. And where we're going to push it to February, I have not determined as of this very moment, but I can if I get a little engagement in the chat. Because, like I said, there are a lot of people who are interested in me and interested in what I do, but there are very few individuals who are supportive and very few individuals who are committed. The only one committed to what I'm called to is me. Sad but true. The task and responsibility of discipleship and building a following. I hate the way it sounds. It sounds so commercial. It sounds so cheap. Because there's a whole lot of followers, not a lot of disciples. Jesus had a lot of followers. Jesus had a lot of followers too. I'm not impressed by your follower count. I want to know who actually shows up when you have an event, shows up when you have a concert, a conference, a teaching, whatever the case is. Invests in it and then gives you feedback. And regretfully, I have a lot of people who are following my content, a lot of people who like what I do, who even just like looking at me. You think I'm cute, you think I'm handsome, you think I'm tall, dark, and whatever. But beyond the aesthetic of me, very few people who follow my content actually take time and say, I believe in this man of God. I want to invest in this man of God. I want to support this man of God. I want to show up when he does something. I want to see if I can partner with him for even a brief period of time, even though I'm committed to maybe two, three, or four things. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it a bean. I'm keeping it a buck, y'all. A whole lot of y'all think y'all just like looking at me, but you don't actually invest in the ministry. You're curious about what I'm up to and who I am and what I'm doing, but you don't take time to sow into this. And so I'm not going to try to, get on anybody's nerves with that. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to say what some pastors need to say, or don't say, ought to say, and want to say. The reality is that pastoring is not built off of likes and follows. Pastoring is upheld by people who get out of their cars, get out of their homes, come to a place to be taught and discipled. So again, our corporate worship experience that was scheduled for the end of this month, which is like 2 weeks from now, less than 2 weeks from now, is going to be postponed until February. Now, what I would like to do, what I would like to do is push the date into February to the last Sunday of February. And here's the reason why. Um, for those of you who do intend on coming, because I have had some people saying that they are intending on coming, whether they are in the city, there are a couple of states over, or there may be some states away. I want to give you all time to make your accommodations and make your arrangements. We are going to be in the beautiful city of Marietta, Georgia, minutes from Atlanta, minutes from anywhere in Atlanta. Let me share that graphic with you, by the way, so that you all can see it. We're going to be in the beautiful city of Marietta, Georgia, just a few minutes away from Atlanta, right outside of the Atlanta metropolitan area. And I cannot wait to have you and host you in our worship facility. This is what our worship facility looks like as of right now. And for those of you who know my style, you know that this is beautiful space, but for me, it's potential. It's not realized. It needs to be renovated. It needs to be cultivated. This thing needs some TLC. And so I'm going to reach out to a lot of my partners, a lot of my sponsors, a lot of my donors over the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to solicit them to provide help for the harvest. I'm literally going to write them a letter, and we're gonna seek for a certain dollar amount so that we can get the renovations for that room completed, and we can get a couple things accomplished, so that when you do all show up in the month of February, at the last weekend of February, on that Sunday afternoon, you can walk into an amazing introduction to coming attractions. Okay. I hope that you all are praying for me. Thank you for so much. I see you in the comments. I see you in the comments. I see you in the comments. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for so much for coming on in. And I'm going to hop off of here in about 2 minutes because I got to make a very important phone call before it's 8 o'clock in the evening. And it's 7:47 now. So, but yeah, I really wanted to make that quick announcement. I also want to remind you all while I'm at it that we still have quite a bit of work to do as far as generating the capital we need to renovate our studio. So, many of you have heard me talk about this over the last couple of weeks and even the last couple of months. And many of you have looked at it and you have not made a decision yet on what level you will partner at. I need your support. I need your prayers and I need your investment. Will you consider, I plead with you and pray that you will consider partnering with us to get this studio renovated so that it can be a state-of-the-art worship facility and event space for many years to come. Though I doubt that we will be in that space. We will have all the equipment we need wherever we move to within the next year or two to make it a phenomenal encounter. Consider sowing a seed into this ministry, into this business, into this kingdom enterprise. Would you consider sowing 100, 250, 500, 1,000, or 2,500? Many of you have never given these amounts to a church before, to a ministry before. But can I tell you something that I actually preached on this past weekend? Before Jesus did a miracle, before Jesus preached a sermon, before he raised the dead, cast out devils, healed the sick, or anything of that sort. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Before Jesus did any of those things, before he did any of those things, the wise men came from afar and they laid gifts at his feet. Before Jesus did any miracles, healed sick, raised dead, opened ears, opened blinded eyes, people came from near and far to lay gifts at his feet, to worship him, to show him that he was worth something to them because they gave of their own worth and they gave their worth to them, their wealth. They gave of their own wealth and their own worth, and they gave their wealth and worth to him. Before we have any concerts and conferences, and before we have hundreds and thousands saved, there has to be a foundation laid of investment that says we believe in what's getting ready to happen, and so we sow. Because we believe, so we sow. Because we believe, so we sow. I want to encourage you today, in the last 30 seconds before I get off the stream, to consider sowing a gift to help us to get the job done. Please, ma'am, please, sir, before we do anything magnanimous, because I promise you that we will. I'm developing a program now that's going to literally be training upwards of 500 people every month in the workforce development with accelerated certificate courses all across Atlanta. We have a fatherhood initiative that we're going to be rolling out with that is going to empower dozens of fathers like myself as a single father. I am a unmarried single custodial parent of a beautiful, amazing 10-year-old son. and the support that I wish I would have gotten and even need. I'm going to make sure that there's a program created specifically for men and fathers in the Atlanta area, and prayerfully we can take this program across the nation. We're not just doing church; we're doing kingdom business. We're doing kingdom enterprise. And I want you to consider sowing a seed of any amount, but specifically in the amounts of 100, 250, 500, 1,000 or 2,500 to that email address right there on Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. And I thank you, I honor you, I appreciate you, and I'm grateful to God for you for partnering with us as we renovate that space so that we can have an adequate opportunity or an adequate environment to do workforce development. I don't see any comments because y'all looking. I don't see no comments. I hear you talking to yourself. I hear you saying, "Oh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. That's interesting." I need you in the comments. Come on, put something in the comments, y'all. Put something in the comments. We got to do better at engagement because y'all will just turn the TV on and don't say nothing. This is social media streaming is not TV. And you know what I'm also saying? I'm gonna get out of here. Some of y'all go ham on other people's streams, but then when you get on somebody else's stream like mine, you don't say nothing. You just want to look. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't just be a creep and a peeping Tom, peeking in my window. Come on in and say something. So again, I'm getting off of here because I got to make a really important phone call. But I want to encourage you to partner with Kingdom Enterprise. This is not just church. I'm not just a pastor. I gotta do a whole lot. I gotta wear a whole lot of hats, bro. I am wore out from day up, from sun up to sundown, thinking about all the people that the Lord is going to put in my path to bless and to empower and to encourage. So I'm getting out of here. Again, no service at the end of the month. We're gonna have service at the end of next month live. We gotta raise $10,000. I'm putting that out there. We got to raise $10,000, and I believe in God to not only help us to meet it, but to exceed it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I thank God for you, and I will see you next time. See you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. for prayer. Peace.